welcome to the Unlock Your Blocks podcast. My name is Elyssa Smith, and I'm your host today. Today, I cannot wait to introduce you to my guest. Christiana Garza is a founder, mother, and visionary business builder who knows what it means to break cycles and create something new. This woman, I've known Christiana for, maybe like a little over a year now, like maybe like a year and a half. And from the moment she came into my life, everything got brighter. This woman is a ray of sunshine. I cannot even tell you. So as the co-founder of Her Society Solutions, a software platform designed to support female founders with the systems and tech they need to grow, Christiana is passionate about helping women step out of survival mode and into sustainable success. After scaling a six-figure agency in just 8 weeks after launching, she and her co-founder made the brave decision to close it down and build a business that truly aligned with the life she was creating one that is grounded in healing, motherhood, and legacy. Through software, strategy, and storytelling, she now empowers women to move out of the back end of their businesses and into their next level of purpose and profit. She's also the co-host of Her Next Move, which is a podcast that explores the real, raw, and rising parts of female entrepreneurship. Christiana is a proud dual citizen of the United States and the Netherlands, married to her tall Dutch husband, and raising two beautiful little girls who inspire her daily to do the deep work and show up fully. Her journey is rooted in healing from trauma, breaking generational patterns, and building the kind of life and business she once thought wasn't available to her. So you can see there's absolutely no reason that I would have her on the show today. I am so excited that you're here, Christiana. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, Elyssa, it's so sweet, and I'm so honored and excited to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. So I just want to kind of that's a great bio that I just gave, that you guys sent over. It really captures the essence of the grit and the grace that are present that I've seen in your journey, and just that I see you inspiring other women to have as well. So can you walk us through where this came about to start these businesses that you started, kind of what your journey has been? And if you want to weave in what your healing has been a little bit like too, that would be amazing. But like, what's the short version of how did Christiana get to where she is right now?
Yeah, the Cliff Note version. Absolutely. Yeah. Cliff Note would be, I began my entrepreneurial journey in 2014 as a virtual assistant and grew my skill set from there. I never became comfortable, never got complacent with where I was as an entrepreneur, as a woman, and through the years saw the ebbs and flows of the service industry, and a lot happened. I'll just say that, in the boom of VAs coming online in 2020, especially with everyone working from home and trying to kind of come around those who had already been doing it for at least 5 years and charging the same rates, but the quality of work was severely lacking, and just a lot of education had to be done, especially for those looking to hire and to build their team on what it looked like to find a quality support system for your business. And becoming a mom didn't just give me a greater why, but it drove a deeper, I would say, what is that word? Instinct of, yes, the why, but that I'm building something bigger than me, and that's going to go longer than I will exist. Yeah. And goodness, the last year and a half has been a crazy whirlwind with launching our agency and discovering some incredible communities like Powerhouse Women and some locally where I'm at in Dallas, and doing some true deep work in November, December caused both my co-founder and I to realize, okay, this is actually not as aligned as we thought it was. And we see some gaps where we were seeing self-sabotage and procrastination as far as who we were serving and what we could actually do to best serve them to help get them out of those habits and behaviors. So that's how Her Society Solutions was born, a bit of a slight pivot from online business management agency into tech software. So that's kind of the Cliff Note version of everything that's happened.
So much. I love what you said about just realizing, because it takes such courage, right? For us to, in general, just entrepreneurship, especially as a woman, especially in the online space, it takes a lot of courage because to build your business, you start with nothing and then you make connections and then you have to sell your services and you have to put yourself out there, be visible. And then you have this idea. You're like, I think this is what my people need. And then you put it out there and you guys became successful. Like it was almost like overnight success. It was
It
incredible
was crazy.
skyrocket success. And then you realize it's not aligned with me. And I just want to call attention to this because how many of us as high achievers, overachievers, see the signs of success? So even if you don't have your business and you're listening today, a business and you're listening today, maybe you relate to this idea that you see the signs of success. Maybe it's in your career, maybe it's a relationship, or maybe it's something in your personal life. And the signs of success are there. And it's undoubtable. Like nobody can doubt that you are successful. And there's like this inner gnawing at you saying, this is actually not what I want. This is not the thing that I thought I wanted. So, can you walk us through what that experience was like? How on earth did you have the courage to pivot from something that was so extremely successful to something that you're like, I'm going to take another chance and see if this other thing is going to be successful that's more aligned with me? It's such a scary unknown when you're looking at it that way.
So scary, and came out of a place of, well, personally, I started doing therapy in the fall last year.
Yay, therapy.
Yes, yay, therapy. Oh my goodness. Thank God for therapists. And alongside doing marriage counseling and then also beginning like some major like health corrections, working with a functional doctor. So just across the board, all the healing is happening.
All
So
of
yeah, all of it, all of it. And doing some honest reflection in journaling with myself of what do I really want? Like, not because someone else says I should do it or someone says this looks good for you, like you're good at that to them, but what is aligned with me and where I'm going, what I truly believe in. And that sparked bringing up fears that I had of being seen, of being successful, and really getting to the root of those things. And it came down to not being too afraid to step out, and because of what other people had said about me or to me, or things in my childhood that I had believed about myself, especially a lot of the roots came from there. And then over time, just, well, I am this way. Like, I am a very stubborn person. I am a very, like, has to be this way in a box, and learned that I'm actually not as like that. There are structures, things that I do like, but especially becoming a mom, I had to let go of those things to be the mom that my children deserve, but also to remother myself in the areas that had been so like pressed down or pushed down, pushed under a rug. So all of that to say that it was just a true honest coming home to myself. And it was a lot of tears, a lot of like anger, but also in grief, but also, okay, I'm now walking into, I'm not doing this when I'm 70 or 80. Like, I'm only in my 30s. Like, there's so much more I can do and I can lean into. And also definitely want to say that leaning into community, we were a part of the Six Figure School last year, and being open and vulnerable about some of those processes that we were going through, and just having that backing of safety to share, but then also camaraderie and like encouragement through those turmoils was like, it was I can't, it was priceless. The true, yeah, where community steps in, like, you cannot do it truly without having some kind of community to lean in and on.
I love that. I mean, you just covered so much juicy stuff because anytime we're going out into the unknown, you can either sort of like white knuckle it and just be like, I'm going to do this. And you shove down the feelings and you just go forward and you don't care what's sacrificed. Or you can go in with your eyes wide open and be a little vulnerable or a lot vulnerable and be willing to be wrong and be willing to look deeper because whatever's happening now, I mean, one of the things that I talk to a lot of my clients about is that you might be having an emotional response to something right now that has roots decades ago, like you mentioned. And our programming starts at such a young age about how we're going to keep ourselves safe that we often adapt behaviors that are not truly us. Like you said, like the people saying, that, oh, you're so stubborn, whatever. Actually, that's not really who you are. But sometimes it can look that way because of how we're surviving and how we made it through all of that in the first place. I just think it's incredibly brave that not only are you going through a therapy and a healing and a physical medical journey that is helping you, but that you're talking about it. That's one of the things, you guys, if you don't follow Christiana yet, go follow her on all the socials. What we have it in the show notes, because it's so brave to me what you're sharing that is so vulnerable about just everything that you've been doing as you've been figuring out the next thing that you needed to uncover. You're talking about it. And I think as women, we're taught that it's much safer to close that off and to be isolated in our pain, but also in our growth and in our journey. And it's been proven time and time again for most of us that if we put ourselves out there, we get rejected, abandoned for our reality, our truth. And you're just blazing a trail for your daughters and for the other women that are following you that, hey, it's gonna be painful and so rewarding that it's worth it. And I loved what you said about the way, I'm trying to remember how you said this because it was so beautiful, that you were realizing that what you were building was not just for you. It's not just like, I'm building this business so that I can make a ton of money. It's like, no, I'm building a life for my family. I'm building a life and things that are going to exist and help other people to change their lives and their legacies. So, can you talk a little bit about, and you mentioned this earlier about the sabotage that you see in your clients. And obviously there have been many probably decision points for you where your default might have been to sabotage your progress, your success, and you have been able to kind of wrangle that in. So, if there's anything you want to share about your specific experience with any kind of self sabotage or what you see your clients doing that you're trying to help with your system, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. And so I think that's part of where I've decided to go as far as building my own personal brand is the authenticity and the self-sabotage aspect that I realized that it was doing time and time again was it often looks like overworking for me. Like any moment that I had to jump on my laptop to do something and wearing it like a badge of honor. I gotta go do this really quick because I gotta, gotta do more and do more and be more, constantly proving my worth through output and productivity. At the root of it, deep down, I learned that I was actually so scared and terrified that if I slowed down or if I asked for help, that things would fall apart, or even worse, that I would be seen as weak. It was such a survival pattern, like unlocked, that was truly rooted in past trauma and not trusting that I could lean on my husband, for example, or lean on my mom and lean on my business partner and lean on our team for different aspects when we had our team in the agency. And I've seen this in women, especially with moms like wear all of the hats all of the time, delaying hiring, delaying delegating because I mean, there's this nurturing aspect of seeing things like as your baby, like things that you're building up. And it's really hard, especially with your first child, I think, to like allow someone to care for them because you know all the ins and outs of which cup they're wanting, which plate they're wanting, at what time, what temperature, etc. But they stay stuck instead of making those high level, elevated CEO boss level moves. And sabotage isn't loud. It is sneaky and it looks like playing safe, being responsible. And that is truly what I unpacked for myself. And I realized, oh, it's not as obvious as procrastination when a pile of laundry built up, but it's something that I was just always trying to get away from my family dynamics to like go get that other thing done. And I was like, hey, we're stopping that.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think, I mean, you're not the only one that's had that experience, right? I know that there are people listening right now who are hearing this and being like, yeah, it does feel like you need to do everything yourself or you're a failure. And what you said a minute ago was so powerful. Or worse, I would be seen as weak. Every hero child that is listening to this right now knows that. We probably have a physical response to the idea that someone would think we were weak. I mean, I remember decades of my life just needing people to understand how not easy my life is. And I
Mhm.
just needed them to understand like, oh, well, but I was working and I would just, well, yeah, I had a vacation, but it was, da 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 da. Oh, I was working through the vacation. It's like
Right. Yeah.
all of the like my work is the definition of where I get my value. So it's so powerful what you're saying about understanding this about yourself, talking about it on someone's podcast, just
Exactly.
broadcasting it to the world that this is something that you have dealt with. Can you give us an idea? Because this is for sure something that, like you're saying, your clients deal with this as well. And as moms, we have this sort of like not compulsion. I mean, it kind of is a compulsion, but this sort of stake in the ground of like, this is, I do everything, I do all the things. And then in turn, societally speaking, women are the ones that hold the households together. Whether you live by yourself and you just hold the whole thing together, or you live with your family, you also hold the whole thing together. So we're like the glue of society, no matter where we live or what we're doing or whether we have a business or not. How did you help yourself become, I don't know, comfortable or less in pain with the idea of actually asking for help?
Yeah, it came down to the nervous system work first, because if I didn't feel safe and be able to trust first, then externally it would start happening, but internally it would feel too hard and it would stress me out internally. So it became rewiring those beliefs that laziness does not equal rest and that asking for help didn't make me weak or less capable. So that's where the therapy came in, learning to do nervous system work, like specifically finger tapping and like finding a spot in my brain that felt safe to let things out. And with the safety of my in therapy sessions, really having honest conversations with my husband about the mental load and how it was costing me energy, not just energy, but just feeling an invisible weight on my shoulders. And I brought it in a way of, I need you to do more because I am so weighed down. I wanted to come from a place of, I need help. And as partners is what we should be able to depend each other on and for. And it, because previously I've come into conversations of a very like, you've not been doing the thing.
I know that feeling.
Doesn't go
And I'm sure nobody can relate to that, by the
well.
way. No one who's listening has ever come in with that self-righteous, like, do you know how much I'm doing?
Exactly. And that I practiced some ways to bring it with my therapist because it was triggering for me of the self-righteousness of having to be seen or and these things of like, why can't you just see it? It's right there. And just being honest was a turning point for us and being able to delegate and trust also. So practically that looked like we got a skylight calendar where now our kids have like different things they check off every day. Like they bring their dishes, like things are like moving along and he
Are you
puts
teaching a class on this soon? Like, I feel like there are many of us who are like, wait, hold on. Wait, that works? Okay. Show me all the things.
yeah. And it's been not perfect, but it's so much better in just the systems in the home. I was like, I don't want to do the whole start of laundry from front to begin end. So can you start it? I'll throw it in the dryer. We could fold it together. Okay. So that's been working.
Yay.
And
So you're getting to see these wins as you go on like these quote smaller things. But honestly, can we just discuss like asking for someone's help with laundry is not a small thing. It's not small.
yeah.
But you are kind of developing this track record then for your nervous system. And I love that you had your therapy play a part in this so that you could walk into those conversations regulated. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see people that women in particular make is that they're like, I should ask for help or I should stop working so much, but they go in with this dysregulated nervous system and they're outside their window of tolerance for change, and it just becomes this like this thing that doesn't feel good inside your body. But the fact that you are going into these conversations regulated and you're trying to figure out, okay, with my husband, what am I asking for? With my mom, who's your childcare, right? Your mom is your child caregiver, and so that you can run your business, and then your business partner, all the people that you're trying to depend on as you're making these moves. I see you getting the support you need. I see you like deciding what needs to happen for you to feel comfortable letting go of something. I mean, these are all such huge lifts for us as capable, competent, overachieving, high achieving women. So that's just brilliant. And I love that you broke it down into like, there are little systems that we now have in place. And this is the path that I chose through all of that. So, can you give us an idea? Has there been a stark contrast with how things used to be before your journey that kind of has been this last 6 to 8 months? What you were able to accomplish then and what you're able to accomplish now because of all the work that you have done slash are doing?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The internal response and reaction is a night and day difference of because of the regulated nervous system. I mean, I could not have imagined last year, early in the spring, for example, seeing us build the agency, launch it, see it be successful, and then hear that 6 or 7 months later we tear it all down. Like that would have stressed me. I couldn't even fathom that. And it became a little by little of, okay, yes, this isn't aligned. If we do this, then XYZ probably. Okay, let me sit with that for a second.
Hold on, everybody. Wait, I got to process this.
Exactly. Exactly. So the decisions became not just, okay, we're going to do it like white knuckling, like as you said, but I need to feel it first and allow it to pass through and then execute. And even now, as things come up when the system didn't go well in the home for the day, I'm now able to say, okay, what is one thing that we can get done now at dinner time or right after before we go to bed so that there was something like done, like a one thing. And this is what I had talked about on our podcast too. In my morning routine, there's the ideal one when both my kids slept through the night. I get up by myself. It's the glorious golden morning
The
routine.
angels are singing and it's like the sunrise and the birds are chirping. I know, which
Yeah.
happens what, once every 5 years? Or, I mean, I don't know, at least in my house.
Or there's something happens. And so what is the one thing I now just look for the silver lining? What is the one thing we can do that will move our needle forward in our family today or in my morning routine that day? So we'll look at the list together. What is the most pressing thing that we can do all together? Make it fun. We turn on some kind of cleanup music that our kids love and we do it. And then everyone feels really good and excited about it versus look at this list of things we didn't get done. Oh my gosh. So it became a large mindset shift and perspective of, yes, the things weren't done. It's okay. I'm not going to stress about it because it will still be there for me tomorrow. Better to not allow those hormones to like kick into overdrive, the cortisol to spike, and make it a fun thing with my kids. And then they go to bed, and then I go to bed.
Yes. And then that's the best moment of the day. Like we did it. We made it. We made it here. So what I'm hearing, I think, just tell me if this is right, but what I think I'm hearing from you is that before you were doing all this work with the stuff that was kind of overworking you, sabotaging your progress, sabotaging your mindset, your peace, it seems like that level of calm and acceptance was difficult to attain. And it sounds like to me, I mean, this is so beautiful because, I've asked people this question on the podcast before, and I'm like, what can you do now on the other side of the sabotage? And they're like, oh, well, I was able to start a podcast. I wrote a book. I did this. But what you're saying is, I found my peaceful life. I found a place that's safe inside my head, inside my heart, from which to tackle whatever comes. How beautiful is that? It's
Yes.
this level of deep, still resilience that it seems like you've come into, and it's permeating your life. And that is legacy, right? That is changing generations of anxiety, depression, health issues, chronic stuff going on. You finding this deep stillness within yourself is the thing that moves the needle.
Yes, exactly. Because I know long term, taking the time, the pause to get honest and to do the work is only going to set me up for all of the big things in life, in family, in business in the years to come. Because I don't want to be having to figure out what a regulated nervous system looks like if I'm in a boardroom trying to exit a business. I don't want to be faced with that. I want to have it that now. And what it looks like in a company or business success building later.
That's beautiful. I love that. And it's worthy work. It is absolutely worthy work. I think one thing that is so it merits so much conversation among high achieving women is this drive to work harder, be better, and do more. Because that is the thing that puts us outside our window of tolerance. That's the thing that perpetuates the generational traumas and things like this. If we don't take the time to really stop and look at what is happening internally, and am I okay that this is how I'm responding to things? Am I okay that my drive is to compulsively go to my computer and do some more work when I'm feeling anxious about the business income, or when I'm feeling like I've got too much going on emotionally? Can you talk a little bit about Her Society Solutions and how you help your clients through their own sabotage processes?
Yeah. Discovered that the procrastination we were seeing was because not just because in what they didn't know what they were doing, but because it was areas that they were afraid to mess up or afraid that they were going to do the wrong thing. Well, I would say, yeah, the procrastination, self-sabotage in clients has been an interesting one of, yeah, the true fear to let things go. And so it's brought a lot of heart conversations of, if you can't let us help you, if you can't trust us, then we can't help you. Like, we want to see you thrive and we want to see you grow 7, 8 figures and beyond. If you keep things really tight under you or only in your brain, then it's not going to enable you to scale and grow, and it's only going to lead to your own demise. Put in a little softer.
Yeah. I mean, burnout, man, it's real. You're absolutely going to tear yourself down if you believe. And this is the thing, like, I relate to this so hard. This is how I live my whole existence, that the solution to everything is working harder. Like,
Yeah.
you can find a solution to every problem if you just work harder, stay up later, do some more research. And it's so isolating and it's so painful. But if it's the only thing that kept you safe in your nervous system when you were little, to just keep working harder, being better, please people more, please your way to safety, man, it is hard to let that go.
It
It is
is.
hard to let that go as an adult.
Yeah. So we get it. And you can have the best, sales page, funnels, website, strategy. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't trust others, and if you don't want it more than anyone else on your team does, then it's not going to work. Like, there has to be such a deep resonance of who you believe you are, where you're going, and what you're capable of, because that kind of confidence and what you exude is going to bring your business farther than the best funnel will.
It's really true. It's really true. And, it applies across the board too, because anything we're trying to accomplish in life, just like you're looking at things in your household differently now and looking at your own experience of your day differently now, all of us can take these concepts and just be like, hey, babe, are you going to keep doing the things that lead you to burnout? Are you going to keeping yourself isolated? Everything is up in here instead of getting that connection and that support that you need. Are you going to keep doing it all yourself and not being able to make it to bridge to the next level and to that elevated place? Because you can do that, but that's the slow way to success. And I think the thing that throws people for a loop when I talk about this is the idea that your nervous system, when in survival mode, does not give you access to your best performance. So if you are actually trying to succeed and reach your highest potential, you cannot do it in survival mode, which means you can't be isolated like you've always been used to. You can't think that you're going to be able to do it better than everyone. Because listen, I mean, I have a team. It's like you've seen the admin backside of my back end of my business from close up. There are some things that are my zone of genius, and there's a lot that's not, but that it's hard to let go of. But if you don't, then you're just basically tying your own hands. You can't actually, because you'll just stay behind the 8 ball all the time. And that could be in your business, that could be in your personal life, that could be, I mean, there's so much that this applies to. I just think it's amazing what you guys are doing. I think it's incredible how you've pivoted. I love how you're sharing the ins and outs of the whole thing. And I just really want to encourage everybody that's listening, go follow Christiana and see the journey that she's on right now. Because listen, she is kicking butt and taking names, as we are seeing today. So,
Thank you.
Christiana, for someone that's listening who maybe she is feeling that, like, I know I'm heading for burnout. I know that I've got some trauma stuff to work on, but maybe she's been trying a bunch of self-help stuff. Like, what do you think? What would you tell her if she was sitting here with you? What's her very next step that you would recommend?
That for me, I would say it is the pause, like to actually get honest, not just about your to-do list and everything that you need to get done, but about where your nervous system is at and what it's trying to protect you from the burnout, from the procrastination and all the self-sabotage that you have going on. Because if you ask yourself, am I building this from a place of expansion or from a place of fear and just to get it done and overworking? It will be clear because the right step may actually be to rest, to take a second, to find that support that you've been delaying, to hire someone to delegate to. It may be giving yourself permission to stop doing what no longer feels good. That's actually leading to all of that burnout, even if you're good at it, which is really hard to do.
Really hard, really hard.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that so much. Also, if everyone that's listening just threw up a little bit in their mouth at the idea of doing those things, that's okay.
I know.
It's okay if you can't tolerate this idea yet, but you're exactly on target. I mean, I would agree with everything you just said. It really does come to what is the truth for you? What are you actually experiencing? What rises to the top when you pause for a moment? Are you being motivated by fear? I mean, the motivation is so important. I always say this that no lasting change that is sustainable was ever motivated by shame. So
Yes.
when we're hard on ourselves because we want to try and align more closely with what we think a successful person needs to look like, it really that shame core. I mean, that part of us that says you're not good enough, you're too much this way, you're not enough this way, you need to work harder, be better, do more. I mean, it's just really at a cellular level, that message is beaten into us by our own programming. And you have to understand that it actually will just keep you in survival mode and lasting change can't happen from there. So I love how you just put that. It's like it's the pause. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, my last two questions I think are really fun to ask each of my guests. And this one is what is your favorite go-to pump up song? Because as most of us know, a good like shake it off moment is really helpful, but what you might not realize is that it actually changes your how your vagus nerve, which is I could totally nerd out on this right now and I won't, but it actually causes your nerve that sends the message to your survival brain to think that you're safe right now instead of thinking that you need to be in survival mode if you're moving your body or listening to music that you love. So, what would it be for you right now? Or maybe there are multiple. You can share
Right
whatever you want.
now, so I love 80s music, but I also love like festival, like pumped up music. So I found a song recently. It's called Heaven is a Place on Earth. It's an old one, but it is a remix for like festival style. It's by these art DJs, U and WAXMO. I don't know, never heard of these people,
No,
but
no idea. Yeah.
I found it through
We
Spotify
love them.
saying, you might like them. And Spotify was right.
That's
So
amazing.
it is my go-to song right now.
Okay, I love this. Okay, so we're also working on a Spotify playlist for all the guests that have given us an idea of their favorite pump up songs. We'll add that to the list, you guys. It's going to be
Perfect.
good. So then
Yes.
my last question for you is when you are pressed for time. I mean, not that you ever are, probably. Saying that with so much
Yeah.
sarcasm with two little babies and a business and all the things. When you're pressed for time, but you know you need a little dose of self-care, a little boost of some self-nurturing, what's your go-to thing? Like quick and easy.
Honestly, it's like stepping outside barefoot, deep breathing, and then just saying to myself, I'm safe, I'm supported, and I am enough. And that's it. Just grounding and affirmations really quick.
I love it. Mic drop moment. That's perfect. I love ending there. That's so great. Christiana, thank you so much for being on the show today. I so appreciate you. I love your just your openness, your vulnerability, your heart, your willingness to share what your really difficult and beautiful and excruciating journey has been like. And I'm so happy to be a witness to where you are now. Like you are such a shining example of nervous system regulation and how it can just permeate your whole world, personal, professional, all the things. So thank you for coming. I just feel really honored that you shared that with us today.
Mm.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you will take this and apply a little bit of whatever spoke to you immediately. I hope that you can just take this and give yourself a little bit of hope, a little pat on the back, a little pick me up. And until next time, take such good care of yourself.